Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movie Chats. A bit of a special one today. Instead of reviewing just one movie that we've just watched, we decided to maybe give you a bit more of an insights about the movies that made an impact for the two of us, and we're going to talk about our top three. All right, so because we're very, very interesting people, I'm sure everybody will be super interested in that. Cool. All right.
This
So,
this is for all two of you who are listening to our podcast.
yeah, exactly. Like, all our followers that are not our family and friends. um, all right. So, let's start with number three.
All right,
I'll
I'll
let
do
you go
my.
for it.
All right, my uh, number three in my top three is the Coen Brothers movie Fargo.
Mhm.
I just love this movie. It's got everything. It's got. Let's talk about obviously the cast. Frances McDormand, Steve Buscemi,
Yeah,
um, William H. Macy, and Peter Stormare. I love Peter Stormare. He's just great.
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just great and everything. Um, the one thing that is just a winner for me as a belter is the score by Carter Burwell. He's actually one of my favorite people who do scores for movies. He does all the Coen Brothers movies. He does the Martin McDonagh movies. So yeah, I just love his work.
Mm.
I'm not a big movie music person myself, but yeah, I just really like his music. The screenplay, come on, it's so funny. You got that, oh
It's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's oh geez, and he's funny looking. In what way? Oh, I don't know. He's just funny looking. I just love it.
Very good. Yeah, it's a very good movie. I really like it.
Yep.
Like this one and The Big Lebowski from by the Coen's
Yep.
brother.
Yeah.
This just cracks me up.
Yeah, those are great movies. And then, then they bring out something completely different, like with No Country for Old Men.
Mm,
That's just so unlike their other movies. Have you seen Hudsucker Proxy? That's with Tim Robbins. That
no,
was a few
actually, I
years before
haven't.
that. That's a really good one as well. It's very similar kind of. It's almost got a noir kind of feel to it because it's set in like the
Right.
30s. So yeah, they can just pick a genre and just yeah, they do it really well, I think. So
Mm, it's good.
yeah. And your number three. Oh, wait, do we do ratings or we of what we gave it out of
I
five?
think that's going to be five out of five because it's our top three. So I think we just move forward.
Yeah, move forward. All right, your number three.
All right. My number three is Fight Club. Um, It's
I
very
love.
good. First of all,
Yep.
the visual style, for me, it's amazing. It's David
Yep.
Fincher. It's
Yep.
very striking. It had a bit of a grudge feel to it that I really, really like. I really like the acting. I think Edward
Yep.
Norton and Brad Pitt are
Yep.
perfect in
Yeah.
the roles. It used to be my number one for a very long time because it explores themes that, in a way, really resonate with me, like nihilism, consumerism. I think it addresses that in a very grand way, and I really, really like it. And I used to really, really, really like that. There is another thing that I think it addresses as well, and maybe people miss it a little bit. Many guys, after seeing this movie, they are telling you, "Oh, I started a fight club when I saw that," and it's like, well, that's kind of the point, but that's also missing the point.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
it's for me that writes a lot of things about masculinity, and I know that this is still an issue for men to come forward and speak up when they're struggling mentally, um, and when they are not seeking help. I mean, there is a very high rate of suicide amongst
Yeah.
men because they are not seeking help, and the one that don't go into that, you know, suicidal ways, they do dumb stuff like
Yeah.
creating a fight club and just fighting each other because it's just an outlet for depression and aggression. And I think that society is getting a bit better about that. I've had bouts of depression, like, throughout my entire life since I was a teenager.
Yeah, same.
Um, and I sought help eventually, and that really helped me. That's also why I think the movie dropped from number one to me to, like, number three, because other movies, like, came out, but also it's maybe slightly less relevant as I'm getting older and society is actually evolving into uh, a bit more where it's not seen as a weakness if you're a man and you are speaking up about your mental health and that you're seeking help. It's not anymore a sign of weakness. It's not being minimized. It's not, you don't hear anymore, well, you know what, men are so privileged that they can't complain about anything. Because it's like, well, it's not because you're complaining about something that it minimizes any other people suffering or discrimination or anything like that. It's not
Yeah, exactly.
mutually exclusive. So this movie talked a lot to me about that. That's why I loved it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, you actually touch on quite a few topics quite near and dear to me. Like, I've got anxiety. I'm medicated for it because I've suffered quite badly from anxiety, but I kind of
Mm.
try not to kind of let it interfere or take over. But yeah, it's absolutely nothing wrong with going, yeah, you know what? It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, going on to two of the key players. Actually, we'll go with all three. David Fincher, amazing director.
Oh, I love
He's
him.
yeah, one of my top five directors. I think
Yeah.
Seven is just one of the best thrillers ever made. He's
Seven is awesome. I really love The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm still shattered they didn't get to adapt the two other books, that he didn't get to do them. Because I thought it was such a good movie.
Brad Pitt. I know people I've shit on him, but he is a phenomenal actor. He is such a good actor.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's just yeah, so good. He just can yeah. If you watch him and you actually look at his talent, there's talent there. I
He's
don't know
he's
why
v-
people.
he's very talented, and I think he suffers sometimes from being too pretty.
Yep,
But in this one, they actually use that very cleverly in the way that he always has the perfect hair and the perfect abs, and he looks absolutely like fantastic with the nice clothes. And well, he's actually not a real person.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
just the ideal of, the narrator, how he
yep,
projects what an ideal man is supposed to look like, which I think
yep,
was very clever as well, how
yep.
it was used and how it was revealed.
Speaking of the ending, Chuck Palahniuk apparently loved the ending of the movie more than his own novel. So, because I've read it once and it was ages ago because it was told in first person narrative and it's probably been about 20 years since I've read it as well. But yeah, it's the ending's quite different. But yeah.
Mm,
All right, let's
all right,
go to number two.
go
For
for it.
me is the 1997 movie Gross Point Blank starring John Cusack and Joan Cusack. Um,
Yeah,
it's a dark comedy where he plays uh, it's not a serial killer,
hired killer.
uh, a hired killer, yeah, hitman,
Yeah.
and he's obviously just he's lost his passion for it, and he goes to his 10-year high school reunion and tries to meet up with his old high school sweetheart. I just love this movie. It's just fun. It's got a banger of a soundtrack. It's got all the like 80s like
Yeah.
it's just got all the and think of any top 80s song. This has got it in it. Um, John Cusack actually co-wrote it as well.
Mm.
So he wrote the screenplay. It's fast paced. It's clever. Um, there's a fun fact. Did you see the kickboxing? The scene where he's fighting the hitman in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yep, that's actually because John Cusack actually took kickboxing lessons, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that was his kickboxing trainer.
Right. I didn't know he was
Yeah,
a trainer. I know they was
yeah,
into kickboxing, and I was like, oh
yeah,
yeah, okay. They worked that out in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. So
Um,
it's just it's just fun. I've always enjoyed it, and it's just
it's
it,
good. It's I mean, I never saw it before. I've heard of him, but I never saw it. So I just watched it because I know that's one of your favorite movies. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was made in the 90s, so it has very nostalgic 90s feel. So that I enjoy. I like John Cusack, but Joanne Cusack, she just cracks me up. It's like everything that you can give her to say, she would just turn it into the funniest way to deliver a line. She's just,
Oh,
yeah. And the soundtrack is, I loved it.
yeah.
I think I put it on my Spotify actually. Like,
Oh,
yeah, something
excellent.
to listen to run. That's a good one.
I definitely bought that soundtrack in circa 1997, so it was on repeat a lot.
Nice. Alrighty.
All right.
My number two, a bit more serious. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Um, So again, I think there is a bit of a pattern with me that I really like movies that look visually dazzling and different. And this one is no exception, as Fight Club looks very grunge and, very modern and cool. This one looks very dreamlike and very creative. And I think it's very quite apropos because it's talking about people's dreams. I mean, the story is out there. It's fantastical about you can erase someone from your memory. But I really like the fact that they took it to raise important question about relationships, or like it made me think about relationship in the way that, well, if you could really erase someone from your memory because the relationship ended, how would you learn? How would you grow? How would you evolve as a person that you're not repeating the same mistakes in future relationships? Because I think we have a tendency to numb ourselves and to take the easy way out when it's available. So a lot of people will do that. But is it really a good thing to do? Is a relationship just because of its ending worth throwing all the memories that you had to the bin? Because if you have been together, especially for a long time, there must have been some good times that are worth, like, keeping in memory, and the bad times as well. So you are not repeating the same mistakes. Um, so yeah, that's something that really touched me. And another thing is about Jim Carrey. So
Yep.
I grew up with Jim Carrey, and I remember
Yeah.
absolutely loved him. But my parents and other adults around me were like, he's just this guy that is making silly faces to make kids laugh. He doesn't really have any talent. But I think a lot of kids saw something else in Jim Carrey that he meant a lot. Well, he meant a lot to me when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And I'm really glad that he got to have this very eclectic career with so many different roles. And he has done drama, and was not the first drama that he
Yeah.
did. But this one is the one that I think he really moved me and touched me so much. I think he's so good in it, that I really love that. And just the entire movie, when I watch it, I always cry because it just touches something deep inside me that I can't really put my finger on. Um, but it's just doing something right. So yeah, I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I watched it again for the first time in about 20 years today. Yeah, it just the choreography. Um, Carey did obviously 85% of it was dramatic and serious. A little touch of comedic ability, but it needed that kind of just that little pressure off,
Yeah,
just because. But yeah, he did a great job. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was really good as well.
good
All right.
stuff.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Oh, are we going to my number one movie? All right. This
Number
is
one. What
number
is
one.
it?
Mine is The Edge from 1997. Again, a 90s. I'm very into the. I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 1983, so all of my films are not 90s related. But there's just something about this film. It's the choreography, the cast, again, the score. I just love that score
Mm,
by Jerry Goldsmith. It's actually one of my favorite scores of all time. It just gives me goosebumps just listening to it. It's that man versus nature kind of role. They've got to survive the elements,
yeah.
survive the bear, survive each other. Um, It's got some really great quotes in it as well. Also, we get to
It's very
yeah,
well written. Like the dialogues are very witty. I mean, you can say the same from Grosse Point Blank actually, but this
yeah,
one too is very well written. The dialogues are
yep,
very well written.
yep. You get to hear Anthony Hopkins say "mother effer" in it as well, uh, which you don't really get to hear him say that word too often. Yeah, I just it's
It's
just
like, welcome, Clarice.
uh, yeah, it's just it. He's obviously just that billionaire, but he's also he excels in that they're put into the nature thing where he just has to bloom and he has to
Hmm.
survive. Yeah, I can't explain it. I just yeah, there's just all those little variables that uh, are thrown in there. Yeah, it's just always been one of my favorite films and is my favorite film.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. Number one for me. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Um, so this one was released last year and it really made up to my top one because I just was absolutely amazed by it. I mean, it is truly everything everywhere all at once. It's that's what it is. It blends so many things so well. It's absurd, but somehow it makes sense. It is funny, but also it is deeply moving. It has action scenes in it and has drama. It's just the epitome of cool to me. I and it's visually dazzling, of course, because this
Oh
is what
yeah.
I like. Um, but if you want to talk about Oscar-winning performances as well, Michelle Yeoh, she deserves her Oscar like 100 times over. She's so good in it. She's absolutely perfect. It's a movie that gets me excited, gets me laughing, gets me emotional all at the same time. I care about the characters. I care about Elvin. I care about women. I care about their daughter. I care about their relationship. I care about how it's frailed and how they are trying to work on it and fix it. I like how Evelyn grows to realize that maybe she's part of the problem and she evolves from that. I care about all the alternate sort of selves depending on the choices that they will make and how they are encountering each other in different ways and how women is not this sort of like meek little man. He actually has a very beautiful soul, and through all these different selves, you can see that. It's I don't know.
And
It's a movie that it managed to move me. Filming two rocks with googly eyes sticked on, just talking with subtitles, and that just moved me. So it just doing something right. I just love
yeah,
this movie.
and that I want to go two points. That the rock part, it had that little calmness to it, where
Yeah.
there's been so much, so much happening, all of it, and then it just goes to the calm, and it's just the subtitles, they're just the sound
Yeah.
of the air.
And she says it as well. She's saying, "Oh, that's just a universe where life couldn't develop." And actually, a lot of them are like that. And I come here when I need to just like relax and get away from everything. I don't know. There is something so poetic in that.
Yeah. Do you think we could, because both our wives are Asian, so
Yeah.
do you think that we could relate more to these characters because we've got that understanding of the Asian culture?
Potentially, I mean, there is definitely something about the way that Evelyn talks to her daughter when she's saying, "You're getting fat and you're never calling me." Like, it's always very
Yep.
criticizing, which
Yep.
is, I know that, yeah, as you were saying from my wife, that it's very prominent, like, in Asian culture, that parents are like, harsh,
Yep.
on their kids like this, meaning well and loving them in their own way,
Yep.
but that's a clash with the Western mentality, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I can understand from like
Yeah.
through what I know from Asian culture from through marriage, and I can also like find it funny as well because it's very well
Yeah.
depicted.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Um, didn't love it as much as you did. I appreciated the choreography and the way it was directed. Like there was one point early in the maybe midpoint where they did kind of snippet like really fast cuts of
Yeah.
all of the Evelyns, and I was like, oh, they could have done that a little bit better. But then later in the film, they did it for about 15 or 16 seconds, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why they just did it very subtly early on because they were leading because that was just how long that must have taken to make and just to film and stuff like that.
It's
It's a it,
crazy.
it was a very, very well made film. So, and well directed. Yeah, I can see why it won all the Oscars. I don't love multiverse kind of movies, so I didn't love it myself. But
I usually not get into that. I mean, it's like, Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man and Across the Spider-Verse. I like this one, but the one with Tom Holland, I am not that crazy about it, and I think it's been overdone now, especially with the Marvel stuff. But this one did it different, and it also didn't harp on just being that. It's just the setup, and then it let through the emotion and the characters, like speak through. I don't know. There is so much as well. The acceptance speech of the actor that plays Waymon that had so much difficulty finding work after he did Indiana Jones as a kid.
mm,
That was, I don't know, there is just something in there that the movie was originally written for Jackie Chan, I think, as the main
okay,
character. And I don't know if he couldn't do it or he was not available, but that's why it ended up with Michelle Yeoh,
yep,
with a bit of like, rewrite, I think. Uh, that's so cool. It's just all those coincidences that
yeah.
makes this movie. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, love it.
There you go. Cool. All right. Well,
All
there you go,
right.
everybody. That's just a little bit more insight into who we are as people and who
Yeah.
we are as like film lovers. So, yeah, thank you for listening to our talking about it.
Alrighty. Well, not next week. I think we're gonna skip a week, but the week after we'll be back. In the meantime, please like, share, follow, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.